Welcome to an introduction to statistics, brought to you by Parkbench Tutors and narrated by David Hopcroft. For more information about Parkbench Tutors, please visit parkbenchtutors.com. In this podcast, we shall continue our introduction to statistics by looking at frequency and how we can illustrate frequency using tables, bar charts, and polygon graphs. Let us take the simplest way of illustrating data. The table shows data collected to show the ownership of different makes of car in a street. All the table lists is the make of the manufacturer and the number of cars for each manufacturer found in the street. The data can be illustrated using a bar chart. Note that it is usual to space each of the fields evenly along the horizontal axis. The width of each field should be the same since we are presenting information visually. The observer then need only look at height to see the pattern for frequency. Let us look at another set of data, this time the number of people who use different supermarkets. In these results, the sample size is given as 1,000 shoppers, and the results are expressed in terms of a percentage. The results can also be expressed in degrees for constructing a pie chart. Here the data has been shown as the pie chart. Pie charts are an easy way of presenting data visually, and most spreadsheets will have the facility to make charts from data. We will often want to present data in other ways. Here, the results of test marks obtained by students have been grouped together to give an array. Each group represents a set of data. The data is first presented as a bar chart. However, we can present this data in other ways. We can use what are called the midpoints for each set. Any class interval has a lower and upper limit. If we add these and then divide by 2, we shall have the midpoint for each of the intervals. These intervals have been worked out for this set of data, and we shall now plot frequencies for each midpoint. The resulting form of graph is called a frequency polygon. Here is the frequency polygon, the points used being the midpoints for each of the class intervals. These points will actually be the midpoints for each of the bars on the bar chart, which we have shown here. It can be useful to consider cumulative frequencies. The cumulative frequency is the total frequency of all values less than the upper class boundary of a given interval up to and including that interval. All that we need is a table to show class intervals and corresponding frequencies, and we can construct our cumulative frequency table. So here is a table showing the fish caught each day in July by a keen angler fishing at a local reservoir. Let us also look at the relative frequency, which we can find by dividing the frequency for any class interval by the total of all frequencies. Here is our modified table showing the relative frequency in the end column. Here is the table showing the cumulative frequency. We shall now plot a cumulative frequency polygon, so we need to calculate midpoints as we did before. The results of the calculation are shown in the table. Finally, the cumulative frequency polygon has been plotted. The cumulative percentage is the cumulative frequency divided by the total observations, then multiplied by 100 to give a percentage. Here we have shown data that includes cumulative frequency and cumulative percentage for a sample where the length of fish have been measured. In this case, we are plotting cumulative percentage for each of the interval medians. Finding the interval median is just like finding the midpoint. Before we leave frequency, let us look at some of the familiar shapes you may come across when plotting frequency. You will see the significance of these shapes as you work through these podcasts. A typical bell shape is often symmetrical. A U shape is a little like the bell shape upside down. This one is called a skewed curve. The skew to the left is called a negative skew. And a skew to the right is called a positive skew. This is a J shape. Note that J shapes have a maximum at one end. Finally, a multimodal curve that has several maxims. This ends our second podcast on frequency, brought to you by Parkbench Tutors and narrated by David Hopcroft. Thank you for watching and for listening. We wish you success in your studies. For more information about Parkbench Tutors, please visit parkbenchtutors.com.